Okay, we are live today, Sunday the 8th of October 2017, and today we have Gary John with us. Gary John is also a really good friend of mine, and he's putting together Earth Convention, which is happening Birmingham, the 27th to the 29th of April 2017.
Hi, Karen. You okay?
Very well, thanks. Do you think that we should just play the video of... Thank you. Should we just play the video of... and then start talking to each other? We'll just go over to series.
Yeah,
this is what... Cool.
Okay.
Have you heard about the upcoming Flat Earth Conference happening in the UK? It's set to take place April 27th to the 29th of 2018. In just 8 weeks, this grassroots organized event went from only a loose idea to an incredible 3-day event that everyone is sure to enjoy. Now let me explain what we're doing. We've launched a website that's split into 4 different areas. One of the areas will display the ticket pricing, and we hope that it will suit most pockets and allow more people to find a good timetable to attend the parts of the event that they would enjoy most. Another area of the website will explain the event itself and how it's split into 3 different programs. For example, on Friday, we'll be having a fairly fluid evening just to sort of get everyone warmed up. Saturday is really the centerpiece, and it's dedicated to the main speakers of the event to give them a chance to present their latest ideas and the current projects they're working on. Also, there will be an opportunity to extend the discussion to the audience with a Q&A section. And finally, the Sunday portion of the event will be dedicated to a debate between the speakers covering 1 or more topics. And each will have a chance to talk about the flat Earth model that they are leaning most towards, and vice versa. The website will also help everyone get acquainted with what accommodation options there will be, alongside other useful information. And we will be hosting a private Facebook page for attendees to join and really stay up to date on everything pertaining to the event from one official and easily accessible source. It'll also be a great way to break the ice with folks before the event starts. After all, we'll be fairly close to each other during the event, so this will be a great way to start getting to know some people before you're actually there, especially if you're traveling quite a ways anyway. And look, just so you know, this wasn't all set up to simply put on a 3-day event. Not at all. This actually grew into something much more than we imagined, and it truly has the potential to provide more local links and a legacy for the future. For more information about this event that we're now calling the FEC UK 2018, just visit www.flatearthconferenceuk.co.uk. Hope to see you there.
Space and time, but I'll go back to the fall, 'cause I will trust myself.
Well, say it then. Oh, we've got series right at the end. Series?
Yeah.
Finished playing, did it?
Yeah, that's why I stopped it.
Oh, okay then. Sorry about that. Hey, got my good friend Gary here. Gary, I just want to say I'm so proud of you and everything that you've managed to achieve. If people understand that Gary had a conception and within weeks he's organised all this convention for the UK. And I think you're taking it to Holland as well, aren't you?
If we can, Diddy and I are. We had a meeting there about. It must be about 3 weeks ago. We went to 6 or 7 locations to actually try and check out some venues, and we think we've actually found somewhere that we're hoping to secure. And if people show interest.
So we've just played the video about the convention. Would you like to just explain a bit more, because that's obviously why we're here, a bit more about the convention? Like, you've got 3 different days, different combinations.
So on the video, it's actually shown as a conference, because when you and I... Okay. We've actually, the video is actually showing as a convention, a conference, because when I spoke to Hori in the first place, that is exactly what we were obviously calling it. And then it evolved into a convention, but it was just too difficult to actually get it changed. So we left that as it is. But as obviously the website suggests, we've actually got 3 sessions, obviously been the Friday evening, the Saturday, and also the Sunday. And each day is totally different to the previous, and also.
So obviously the reason that we're having a hangout is that you've just released the website with all this on.
Yep, that's correct. It's actually quite interesting, because one thing that people are still adding links to the landing page, which obviously isn't where I need people to go now. So they're still trying to show interest. But what I really need them to do is obviously actually, if they want to actually go to the event, to actually purchase whatever package they would like. So I think there's about 40 people that have linked to the landing page since the actual web. I think if I remember right, it's about 12 days ago.
So that's good then, is it? That's good.
It is, but obviously it's little trying to connect to literally a preliminary something on the web that people could actually just see that something was coming. And now it's here, then they don't want them to carry on trying to link to the landing page. What I really wanted to do is go into the website, and if they want to book a particular package, then obviously choose to suit. And if I can just add about the package, that obviously you do not have to have a PayPal account. If you click on the package you want, you can actually use your credit, as well as obviously if you have got a PayPal account, you can use that as well.
And also, one thing I remember you did tell me was that people were buying single tickets and not buying them together. Is that correct? Something like that?
Yeah, there is. There's actually one couple that they, instead of ordering the weekend package, it's 2 tickets that they actually each. And even though it's only 20p extra per transaction, it just adds to the overall cost of the event to actually put it on. And just to add on that, the actual overall figure, if it sells out, then we're looking at about £2,000 in PayPal fees. If they buy individual tickets, then that 2,000 could be as much as 2,200, 2,300. So that's another 10% of cost, but we don't actually get much in the way of return. So it'd be quite nice if people wanted to buy, like for instance, the Friday and the Saturday weekend package, and there's 2 or 3 of them, is actually to buy it in one transaction, if it's possible.
I think it's really exciting that we're having this convention, because it just makes history, doesn't it? You're making history, Gary. Yeah,
I think in talking to Robbie, obviously we're going to try and link that when they are doing their conference, they're obviously going to promote our convention. And when we do our convention, we're going to promote anything that he's doing. And the very fact that, it was actually funny the other night, Nathan was just saying it's almost like the American, almost like a trial run for the main event, which is ours. So I thought that was quite funny. So, but yeah, it is exciting. Yeah, it is exciting. I think what's going to happen,
isn't it? Yours is set up a bit differently than theirs as well. Like they're doing it as a conference. You're doing it now as a convention.
But also what they're doing is they're doing 2 days during the week, and then I think they're going to spend time at the weekend to mix, to meet up and hang around the hotel, which I think is quite a nice idea. Whereas with us, obviously ours is on a Friday evening and carrying on to the Saturday and Sunday. So it's not only different on how the format is, it's also the content within it is different, which I think is quite nice, because what we don't want to do is be a mirror image of exactly what's happening in America, or America be a mirror image of what we're doing. So I quite like the differences.
Yeah, and also, you know, when you started this very beginning, you could have just picked a hall with a few chairs, and you didn't want that. You wanted a professional, the whole thing to be professional, because obviously you want to be taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have suggested that we could just use a very cheap hall or do it in a very cheap way, and that is obviously a possibility. But the thing is, if the press and maybe TV crews and a lot of people are looking at this, then it's so easy to criticise whatever we do, however we do it. It's so easy to criticise. So it's just a lot neater and a lot safer just to try and do the most, the best, and put on a professional event, not only down to the fact that people didn't enjoy it, but also the fact that they can't criticise so much. Whereas, if you do it, like you said, about if we did it in a hall with broken chairs, then people will be criticising they are or not. So it's between
also,
price being cost effective.
You wanted this to be the start of something, not like the only one. This is the start of something. Because obviously you're going to go to Holland afterwards.
Yeah, ideally it'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice if it's a legacy where either we, it can grow onto either people that come to the actual event network going forward, and they do experiments, and they can do like mini groups where they live, and also if there's interest there and people want. Not only more events, but there are things happening at the event. So it's not set. I know that, for instance, Eurons did in like a festival type event where you have pockets of speakers in different tents or different rooms doing their thing, and then people go from one place to another on like a schedule. I mean, that's another thing that we could obviously look at. So it's down to finding what people want.
When you set all this up, because obviously there's like the weekend is where you can buy it as 1 day or 2 days. But you decided to stick in drinks and food because this is a professional, and also to be in a hotel, which is kind of
the weekend. Sorry.
And being in a hotel, you're a bit protected as well, aren't you? In case anybody wants to be silly and gate crash and all that stuff.
We have got a couple of people that are going to be on security, so we can obviously look after who attends the events. And just to try and keep it all civilized and neat, really. And you mentioned about the food. Obviously, as you know, the weekend package includes a buffet meal both days, and also tea, coffee, and water, and biscuits for the Saturday and Sunday in 3 sessions per day.
Yeah,
and I think if I remember rightly, the Friday evenings.
I know that you want people to go to the webpage and obviously look and then pick which package they want, because that's what you're doing it as. But do you want to just explain the packages?
That's right. I mean, Dawson has actually booked the Friday evening and the Saturday, and obviously they clearly are not around for the Sundays, so they've chosen the package that suits them, which is the main reason why I've done this. Because on the Saturday and Sunday, you've got individual tickets that you can have. There's 30 tickets per day.
And do you want to just explain those what you're actually doing, like the Fridays through to Sunday?
You want about what the program is or the costings?
Yeah, maybe both of them, really, because obviously that's what this hangout's about, isn't it? To explain to people.
Okay. Well, obviously on the Friday evening we got 3 sessions, and that's £26, which covers the hire of the room. Plus, I've got to get speakers there earlier, and also there's tea and coffee for the start. And that's split up to 3 sessions that are quite fluid, but they will obviously be available, which includes an open mic session. There's also going to be a session where the speakers will get a chance to just chat to people. Everyone gets to hear, as opposed to individual conversations. And the third one, and this is one I'm looking forward to, as well as the open mic, is to have the results, or they have particular experiments they would like to take on in the future, but they may either be stuck for help or technical abilities, or they just need people to do it with because it's like a two-man job, or or more. So it'd be quite nice if maybe there's a networking that takes place, and that covers the Friday evening.
So you can, and also on the webpage there is you've put accommodation as well, so that people can hotels.
Yes, at this moment, the only option that's actually available is actually the venue is the Joy's Inn, Broad Street in Birmingham. And at this moment, I was always going to be putting in options of where people could actually look at going for rooms. You're going to organise a camping site and also glamping. But when I actually went to the hotel and found out it was right in the centre of Birmingham, that was a bit difficult to get in and out. I thought it probably wasn't so practical for people to maybe. I'm not to say they couldn't camp, but it's not so practical, I think. So it'd be ideal if they can try and be in and around Broad Street. So I play the date if people want, but they obviously can also Google it. Open book.
And, yeah, and do you want to just tell us the name of the hangout? I'll put it in the description when we finish. But what's the name? What's the actual webpage people need to go to?
What you mean, the actual website for the conference convention?
Yeah,
it's www.flatearth. I've got it here. It's flatearthconventionuk.co.uk. Obviously, if they find the website on there, they actually have the link to the.
Yeah.
And obviously the hotel.
Yeah, and do you want to explain some of the speakers that are coming, and because you've done different things for different days, haven't you, with these speakers?
Yes, on the Friday at this moment, I'm not 100% certain who's going to be there on the Friday to actually do the open session. Mark Sargent's shown an interest, and also John the Morgile. And at this moment, I'm leaving it fluid with the other speakers, but there could be probably 5 or 6 that will be there on the Friday evening. On the Saturday, every speaker will get a chance to do a session where it includes a presentation with their latest, what they're doing, and also there's going to be an opportunity for them to have a questions and answers with the people in the audience, because I don't want it to be just literally the session is say 45 minutes. If they literally just spoke for 45 minutes, which I know some would like to do that, then really people been on YouTube. So it'd be quite nice, because a lot of people don't get really the chance to ask questions about their particular work, or what they got coming up, or something's happened in the past. And just to obviously go through the people that are turning up, and if I do it by country, in America we've got Mark Zile. In Spain, we've got Oliver Ibáñez Ludlow. In Holland, we have Mike Cavanaugh. And in the UK, we have, from the north going south, we have Darren Nesbit, we have Dave Marsh, we have Sean Connors, Martin Liedtke, allegedly Dave, and myself. I'm actually going to do a few things I'm working on.
Woo! And Gary. How many tickets do you have then, just for Friday and the weekend? How many tickets roughly to tell people?
How many tickets for each section?
Yeah,
for the Friday, it's the maximum room size was 250, but with 10 in reserve that I'm keeping back. The weekend is exactly the same, 250, but what they're split up into is front row is 32 seats, because they're the best, not best seats, but the best location for the actual where the speaker's going to be. And also there's, like I said earlier, there's 30 for the Saturday and 30 for the Sunday, and there's 188 standard tickets, or early bird at this moment, which will become standard. And what I'm going to do is something I've thought about the other day, is I'm actually going to the cut-off for the early bird and make it on the Sunday evening of the same weekend of the conference in the United States. So that means when Robbie's actually highlighting the links between our event and their event, then people will still have probably about 36 hours after after their weekend finishes to still book early bird tickets.
If I just say one thing, thank you, Stevie. Stevie put the link in the chat room, so he's put the link out, and obviously I will add that to the Gary, what's the early bird, to explain to people?
It's just literally just to try and give people an opportunity per ticket, and on the weekend it's £97, whereas the standard ticket is exactly the same package, but it's 112, which is £15 more. And it's just to give people the opportunity, because as you can imagine, there's obviously upfront costs with the website, and I've got to secure certain things with the webinar people and the hotel that cost money up front. So all it is just from people, and for that obviously there should be, in my opinion, there should be a discount for people paying up front, and then it'll just revert to a standard price.
And then do you want to explain to people like how you got this together, Gary? Because one minute you're talking about it and the next minute is it's happening. Almost, it was that quick when you decided.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you recall, obviously I spoke to you and just said, you know, I've got this idea that because I was listening to a hangout from Darren, he was actually doing his Broad, and he was just being asked a question on email if he was going to the conference in July, and when he actually then explained that he wasn't, I actually wanted to know where this, just in case it was in Europe and I could possibly go and attend. In looking, I then found out that there were a few things happening in Europe, but in London, I then got in touch with the gentleman to ask more, to find out that they hadn't actually got a venue in place. It was just a working idea that they had. So I then started to look at options about, you know, should we look at London, should we look at Birmingham or somewhere else? And literally within a space of a week, I had an idea of the location, an idea of numbers, or if it should be a 1 day or 2 days or whatever. But in talking to them, and obviously if you recall, I came on a few hangouts and we talked to lots of Mark Sargent and Darren Nesbit and a few others, you know, Leslie Dave, and before you knew it, then all of a sudden, within about 10 days, I think it started to from nothing almost, is it? And it evolved.
Well, I think that you're making history getting all these people together. Never ever will you have had so many flat earth people or bigger YouTubers in one place talking. So that is amazing in itself.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, it'd be unique apart from it would already happen in November. So yeah, it's going to be exciting for the UK, I think.
All good for America, not putting America down, but for the UK, there's going to be Americans and a lot of UK people who won't be talking in the convention, the conference. The one in November doesn't have a lot of English people talking in that conference, whereas the UK one has American speakers, European speakers, and UK speakers all coming together, all being in the same place at the same time.
Mm. Yeah, I think from a UK point of view, unique, and it's exciting, I think. The whole thing is exciting, including what's happening in America, and I think there's going to be some other things happening in the future that I've had wind of that sound quite exciting. But that's obviously still in work in progress for some people. And yeah, I think it's exciting for the Flat Earth, actually, for the community, that there's things like this happening. And if there's enough interest, then there's nothing to stop. Like you know, I want to try and do something in Europe with Diddy, and if it works out that people show that they want this, and they give us an indication of what time, then we will do our best to try and put one on.
Well, I think it's amazing, and I know that you've worked so hard for this.
You're not kidding. It has been hard. So, but it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, it's part and parcel of the whole. You know, if you do something that's got any value, then it takes time and effort to. If it's worth something, then you got to put in the effort to make it work.
And if people who are watching this don't know that Gary is a member of my Sun and Moon group on Facebook, and a lot of the people that come on the panel have come from there. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I've known Gary for a while. I've met Gary a few times. How many times have I met you now? 3 times? 3 times?
Yeah, I came to your house twice, and we went to Leamington Spa.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
yeah, so it's 3 times.
Yeah, and so I know Gary's a real person. And what do you want to say with the conference? How's you started to sell tickets and everything now?
Yeah, I mean, tickets are going.
How many people can actually attend?
Take serious.
How
He
many
said-
can actually attend maximum?
Series
I'll do
250.
Maximum.
Yeah, it's 250. It's 250 for the Friday. There's 188 early bird all standard tickets, general tickets for the weekend. There's 32 front row, and then obviously I'm hoping that the 2 rows will alternate over the 2 days. And there's also 30 individual tickets for the Saturday and 30 for the Sunday, just to give people choices on, if they can't make it for work, or they can't make it because of children, or budget, really. So it just gives people choice.
Yeah, I mean, Gary could have just done it one way. He could have said 2 days, ticket, da-da-da. And then he's really, really thought about it. Or maybe people don't have money. Maybe people can't come because of work. Maybe this, maybe that. So he's broken the whole weekend down. So hopefully it will cover somebody going, oh, I can go to that bit. Or I can go to the whole thing. Or I can go to Saturday. Or I can go to Friday. Or I can go to Sunday.
Yeah, I've actually, as you say, I've actually tried to think it through, and I could have kept it simple, and it would have been a lot easier to get the website built around that as well. But I was trying to think of the people that some people will, like for instance, the gentleman that's actually booked the Friday evening and the Saturday. Then I don't know, I can't remember if he's local or not, but he is, and he's not there. I haven't asked why. It's not my job to do that. But the Sunday, for whatever reason, but that is the whole point of the proposals. The package there for people to cherry pick what suits their allocation of time and also their pocket. It's good for people to have those choices, really.
You've just talked about this in the fact that you could have just stuck it all up in a hall, but you haven't. You've decided that, it needed to be professional. Being professional means you have to have drinks and food. The ticket price is the price it is, but you've got an early bird ticket price until a certain date.
That's right. Yeah, it was going to be the official date. I think it was the 15th or 16th of this month. But because the website was delayed being released, I do really want to extend that. So when I'm extending it, originally I was going to go for the first. But because the United States conference is taking place literally just over a week later, I think it makes perfect sense to actually extend the proposal for people until this midnight on the Sunday, because their conference ends on the Friday evening, and then obviously Robbie is at some point in those 2 days he's going to be promoting our event. And that means it still gives people 48 hours from when that event finishes to still buy tickets if they wish. And then the standard price will then start.
Cool.
To people.
Is there anything else you want to say actually about like the convention? Like a page took a bit longer than you thought it was going to take and things like that. Is there anything else you want to add to that part of it?
It's not exactly to do with the actual timing of the website, even though it took a lot longer than I first envisaged. It's more to do with the fact that I'm incredulous, really, about. I know that people will they say, why have you done this? Why are you inviting that particular person? How can you charge that amount of money? You surely are making a profit, and it's out. You're out to, just to make a fast buck. But I'm a little bit about. Quite openly by certain people that one person actually said that he's going to do me for fraud. I'm happy, go for it. Somebody else said that they're going to come down and want to check my books and they want to actually bring a solicitor, but I don't quite know why a solicitor. I'd have thought an accountant would have probably been. And so what they're doing is they're actually assuming that I don't work, that I clearly am making my money from putting on these conventions. I've never put one in my life. So if that's the case, if that's how I pay myself, then I'd be going hungry by now. So I'm a little bit.
I just say that Gary has put this all together himself. He's a really dear, sweet friend of mine, and we've talked for hours and hours offline. I know him. He's been to my house a few times. And Gary has put all his own money at the moment into this project. So if it does fail, he will lose his money.
That's right. Yeah, I've yeah. Just to add, final bit is that these people should be just assuming that I'm out to just make a profit, and at the best that I can hope for is that it breaks even. It's touch and go if it breaks even or not. But there's one last point I would like. You asked me about the website. There's one bit I want to mention is on the webinar that I want to obviously offer, because again it helps the whole professionalism of the whole event, because I would then have the equipment there for the weekend. I'm actually putting out on the website that it's £20 a ticket. The even point for that is 190 tickets, and if I get, for instance, say 100 sign up for this, and that's obviously an income of 2,000, people are going to assume that's £20 per person is just, but it's cost £2,000 more or £1,800 more to actually put on the event for the webinar alone. So all that's got to be funded for, all that's got to be costed, and it's a big risk. And I must admit, it's a lot bigger task than I first envisaged when I started this. But it's just a little bit frustrating when I'm getting attacked for something that isn't the case, and people.
That's because you're not putting any old thing on, isn't it? That's why this whole thing has, maybe, I don't know, you've worked so hard to make different evening, like Friday is different to the weekend. You've worked really hard at putting this whole thing together, so it's just not any old thing, and that's why, isn't it? That's why it costs money, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's been a challenge, and it's been a good challenge, and I've got to meet a lot of good people, and talking to the speakers, and obviously work closely with you on things, ideas about it, and different people that are going to help support, because there's like a core team that's going to get involved. I've met Didi in Holland because of it, because she's now going to, between us, we're going to try and do something in Holland if people show interest for Europe. So yeah, I think it's been hard work as well. And the other thing I wanted to add is that
I'm helping.
Yeah, you're going to look after the speakers, aren't you? Which would be good. And I believe series is coming, which would be excellent.
I'm planning.
It'd be good to see you, series.
I'm planning.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you if you can make it.
Yeah.
The other thing is some people.
First,
Sorry, series, we didn't really hear you. Do you want to say that again?
We're going to try the flight first, and then see how that goes.
That'd be fun.
Series is coming
what
over.
Do that, series is look for the curve when you look out the window. See if you can find it.
Yeah, well, I will see probably on eye level both horizons through all the windows, no matter where you look.
I know, it'd be interesting. It'd be good to get your feedback.
Yeah. It would be my first real empirical experience then.
Take a camera. No, it'd be good.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Yeah, for sure. I already have the phone.
It was about putting out that the web page is out and that you're selling tickets for this convention next year, the 27th to the 29th of April 2018 in Birmingham. Everything that you wanted to talk about, because this is just, because you'll be coming back over the months and we'll be talking about these things.
The thing I really want to add really is, when I said to you that a few people have attacked me for, who am I and what do I do for a living and why am I inviting these people that are clearly shills, is I've actually invited this one gentleman to actually take part in one of the days coming up to Birmingham to actually witness the event for the day, but also I would ask Mark Sargent if there's any chance he would talk to this guy, because this person in particular is to be a shill, and he's saying the words, but he's not coming up with any evidence, not that I've seen. But when I've actually invited him to actually come up for the day, and I'd actually even pay for his ticket, commented, and I just find words, but they don't follow through. So I just really, they say something, I give them an opportunity to meet somebody that they are passionate, that they're not good for the movement, then why don't they turn up and talk to them face to face? Either we can do it as a public debate, or we can actually do it in private. I'd facilitate that if Mark would agree, which I'm sure he would. I would love to see that take place. So I find it a little bit interesting that these people are out there, that they've got a lot to say, but they don't have any gumption, they don't have anything positive that they can actually add to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the bad side of it, isn't it, really? There's like this really good side where there's many, many, many lovely people, and then there's always this little strain that have to cause issues and problems. And I know for sure that Gary has put his heart and soul into this convention, and I'm really proud of him for doing this. No one else has done it. And about half an hour now. This is just a catch up to say that the tickets are on sale. I will put the link on to this hangout. Ticking along now. It's all set in place. The website's going. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say, Gary?
I think that's about it, Karen, actually. And obviously, thanks very much for giving me the opportunity to actually do another catch up with you. And it's obviously useful for people to see. And obviously, I've done this again the other night with Nathan. I've also got another one coming up with Patricia in a few days. And it's just good to actually, after the commercial by the Horry Sheet Show, which is really kind of him to do, and also all the help that people. It's actually nice now that it's finally out there for people to choose if it's something they would like to attend. So I'm pleased it's got to this stage now.
You were waiting for the website to go, and it took a bit longer than you thought it was going to take to get going, didn't you? It held off and held off a bit.
Well, a part of that was down to getting information from the speaker and analyse things with the hotel, but it took a long time, and there's a lot more work involved than I first. But with that,
anyway, do you want to repeat the Gary?
Repeat the what? Sorry.
Do you want to repeat the website name? Because obviously this is a catch up, everybody. We're back later on this evening. This was a catch up with my friend Gary talking about the convention. So do you want to say the website again?
Yeah, it's www.conventionuk.co.uk. Okay.
Yeah, do you think that's about it? Because obviously this is just a quickie hangout, but Gary will come back, and he comes on our panel anyway on certain nights. And but this was a catch up with you about the convention. Do you think that's it for today?
That's it. Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much for Karen, and thank you, Series. Thanks for your help.
No, thank you, Gary. I say I'm really proud of you, because I know how much effort you've put into this, and you know that I already attacked you, and I had to make a video because I just couldn't believe that you were being attacked for doing a really great thing for Flat Earth.
It's just the way it is. Yeah, I just think these people that are attacking, are they the agents themselves? Are they actually pointing fingers at others because it means they're trying to protect themselves? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, we go on and we support you. And as said, I'm helping at this convention.
Yeah, thank you for that, Karen. That's great. It'd be great, and it's going to be a fantastic weekend. It's going to be exciting.
Really looking forward to it. Having all those speakers, in one place, it'd be a dream come true for a lot of people. Surely, like, oh look, there's.
Thing is, if we got 260 people, roughly 270 people in that room, and you've got speakers that are known, and you've got people that are meeting for the first time, by the time they go at the end of the weekend, then I'd like to think that a lot of new friendships are being made, forged.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point, actually. Hopefully will cause more people to realise there's a bigger network of flat earthers out there anyway. And very quickly, just before we go, there's a webinar as well.
There is one final thing I want to add, Karen, is actually don't forget to attend. Is that we've obviously got people like Darren Nesbit and Oliver Ibáñez, can play the guitar, and I think John the Morgile can, and Martin Liedtke's going to do some comedy. Can actually, you know, if they want to make a fun evening, do their own thing, and all get together and actually spend more time being in each other's company and do it like a fun evening, then you know, we could put on.
Really, and actually meeting them sort of, because when they're in the convention they're going to be having their space to talk, and it's going to be a bit more serious, isn't it? And then in the evening with the music, that's a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's just literally you let everyone have their hair down and turn out to be whatever into it, really. So I'm not saying it's a great idea or it's going to go well. It's just there if people want it, and then we can decide you know, the format close to the time.
One other thing we haven't actually,
it's going to be a fun weekend. I think, you know, it's going to be a full-on weekend.
Is the webinar a bit? Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, the webinar is going to be a very professional package put together by a technical team. They're going to obviously download, you know, they're going to stream the actual when the presentations and the speaking is taking place over the weekend. I haven't gone for the Friday at this moment, only because it just pushes up the cost. But if people sign up for the webinar, then they're asked to pay a contribution of £20 for weekend access, and that will then contribute towards the best part of £4,000 to actually put on the whole event. And it doesn't matter if I even only have 50 people, it will still be about 3,800. So, you know, obviously at £20 a ticket, they then contribute £1,000, but it's costing almost £4,000 to actually put it on. So that has to be paid for.
For people to understand that Gary has put all of his own money into this. Money, haven't you?
Yeah, I spent over £1,000 on going to Holland and the website deposit, and also I went to Holland again to meet up with Diddy to look at the one for the Europe. So all in all, I've probably spent out about £1,300. So you know, to take that money back out, you know, if the package can, you know, if the money allows. But I've willing to put this in to kickstart.
And just to explain that, if there was any profit, what are you going to do with the profit? Actually makes a profit.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good question. It's unlikely it's going to make a profit because of the webinar cost and the actual convention. But if it makes a little bit, it's either going to go into making the event slightly better, because at this moment I haven't even got money to actually organise tickets. At this moment I'm going to have to do everything through Excel and do it on my PC. There's other things that I would like to do that are very small little things that's going to improve the whole performance. But if that still leaves a balance, then all that money would then go through towards future events, which could include Europe, or it could be the next UK events that we're looking at putting on. So nothing is going to be going to speakers, nothing's going to me, nothing's going to the core team. It's all going to be you. And also, if anyone wants to come and see me and they want to go through the books and where all the money is spent, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm not going to put it out online as much because people just criticize it, because I could put out a green apple and a red apple and people would criticize because, you know, they can't help themselves. But if anyone wants to come to me and actually ask me a direct question, and they can come to where I live, I can show them exactly on it. So it's whenever when people are happy to do that.
Well, thank you so much for that, Gary. And do you think that's enough for today?
You're welcome.
Do you think we've spoken enough about it today? Because obviously we will come back at regular events again and again and again leading up to next year. But do you think that's enough?
I think so. I think doing something a little while after the American convention or conference, they're calling it, would be quite good, because then obviously we'll see the changes that may come about because of that, and also if there's changes that take place with ours, which at this moment I don't think there will be, but you never know. So I think maybe sometime post November for America would be quite good.
And as you well know, I keep playing the little video. The little hoary video. I keep playing it at the beginning
Yes.
or somewhere in the Hangouts, just to remind people.
Can I just say though, Karen,
Yeah,
it was really sweet of him to do that, because he did it for free, and he, he contributed to his. No, I don't know. He didn't. He could have charged for things like this, but he actually put in his own time to research what was actually the content, and we went back and forth with chats, and also load of messages back and forth to try and get to where we were, and it was really nice of him to do that.
I can just see in the chat room, Rebecca says her and Dan have bought tickets already and can't wait. So there you go, Gary.
Yeah. Yes, I actually know. I've got a list here. I haven't seen Dan, so that may be a new one. But yes, I have. It's really good that these people are actually now, going to attend, putting on a convention with speakers. It's actually going to be nice to meet some of these people that I've come across along the way. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Please, because you've worked so hard for this. On that note,
but it's for everyone, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. In history. It's history, isn't it?
Certainly is. Yeah.
As we say, we will come back and talk to you again. Gary sometimes does join the panel on certain Hangouts. So in the meantime of actually having you back to talk about the convention, we'll see you sometimes on the panel. And anyway, if anybody didn't know who Gary was, this is Gary John, who's organising the UK's first Flat Earth Convention, 27th to 29th of April, 2018.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway,
and yep.
Carry on.
No, I was just going to say that the email address that is on the website, if you go to the terms section, or if they want to send me an email privately, then it's garyjohn42@hotmail.com, and anyone can come to me with, as long as you're trying to be civil, that'd be quite nice. But please come and ask me anything you need. Yeah,
well, I say, Gary, take no notice of those horrible people, because we know that you are a real person. Or Siri just put something up. You're a real person doing this, and I'm so proud of you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Is that the web page and series?
Yep.
Page.
This is the web.
Thanks, series.
Yeah, see that. Are we coming back for a Flat Earth hug then, everybody?
You and your hugs.
We have to have a Flat Earth hug. You did.
Oh, you did.
You did. Series. Come back. Yeah, there they are. Yay, Gary.
There you go. A hug. Bye, everyone.
Okay, then. So
bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everybody. See you later on when we've got our other hangout with Artis and Angel. So see you later on this evening. Bye, everybody. And thank you so much, Gary, for everything you've done.
You're welcome, and thanks so much for having me on.
Bye, everybody. Bye.